Okay, we have to take another integral. This one's from the Vienna Integration Bee 2024, problem 49. We have the integral of x cubed over e to the x squared over x squared plus 1 all squared dx. Okay, I noticed there's definitely quite a few different ways to approach this, and what I wanted to do actually, I think I want to start off with a u substitution just to kind of clean up this denominator by setting u equal to x squared plus 1. Then in doing this, let's take a derivative. So for our du value, we're just going to have 2x dx. But noticing we have x squared right here, I'm going to want to isolate, I don't need to isolate x, I don't think, but let's isolate x squared. So we're going to have a value for x squared. Subtract 1, we have x squared equals u minus 1. And then before we substitute, I'm actually, we have this x cubed here. I want to create our du, so I'm just going to do a quick rewrite. We'll leave the denominator the same, x squared plus 1 squared. We'll leave this the same. I'm going to create this as a 2x dx, so we have our du at the end. But then, so I don't change it, we still have x cubed here. I can write this as 1/2 x squared. Just noticing if you multiply half x squared times 2x, you get back x cubed. And now we can go ahead and substitute first. Let's take the 1/2 out front. X squared is going to be this, so we have u minus 1 here. And again, this is going to be e to the u minus 1. This here is just our du, and then we're all over u squared. And then I don't really like having the complicated exponent on this, so I can break this up. We can separate that out and write it as like 1 over e, so I can write it as an e here. But I don't really want it there. Let's actually bring it out front of the integral, and we can write this as 1 over 2e. And now here what I want to do is let's distribute in the e to the u, and then split it into two fractions on the minus sign. So this is going to become, we'll still have the same constant value out front. Then when we do this for the first part, we're going to have u over u squared, so I'm going to write that as 1 over u times e to the u, then split on the minus sign. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to write it a little different. Write it as a plus minus 1 over u squared e to the u du. And the reason I do it like that is just to notice that the derivative, if we just look at this right here, the derivative of this is right here. And for e to the u, derivative of this is right here. So what we can do on this is actually use reverse product rule. Here's our product rule formula over here to the left. One thing I'm going to do, so we have this really in this form. We have like the derivative of one thing and the derivative of the other thing, but we're all under an integral. So if we look at this as an integral, what it's going to allow us to do is if we take the integral of the derivative over here, the solution is just going to be this f times g. So we can put that there. And so really all we're left to do here is put some labels on things. Like if I call 1 over u g, then we have right here, we have our g prime. And then if I call e to the u, specifically this e to the u, we'll call this one f, then I have my f prime right here. So then now we have our f prime g right here, our f g prime right here. And so our solution of this in u is just going to be f times g, this piece and this piece. So we can solve it in u, we're going to have to back substitute. We're going to have 1 over 2 times e. The f value is going to be e to the u times this g, 1 over u. I can write it as e to the u over u, plus c, of course, but we need to back substitute on the next board. Okay, now one thing I want to do before we finish it off is let's just take this e and divide it into this e right here. And so we can put this back and write this as e to the u minus 1. And just notice we never needed to pull this e out. It just sometimes helps with clarity to have like the nicer exponent, but it was a totally optional step as we just put it back in the end anyway. And now let's just go ahead and back substitute for this u minus 1. We have x squared. This is going to become e to the x squared over 2 times our u value, which is x squared plus 1. Add a plus c, and that's it. Okay, there you have it. Good problem from Vienna 2024. Thanks everyone for watching. Have a good day.